my god! Leave me alone! You killed all my friends! Take that, you bastard!
Every day, scenes like this play out in abandoned houses, isolated campgrounds, and closed-down theaters all over the world. The climactic scene in which the final girl takes out the homicidal maniac once and for all. It's all well and good unless you're not the final girl, right? We here at Sinister Minutes fully appreciate that and are pleased to offer our brand new Final Girl Ensemble, guaranteed to leave you as the last one standing. The kit includes everything you need to fulfill the role. Tomboy costume with sensible shoes and plain, loose-fitting blouse and slacks, chastity belt, intelligent-sounding books by authors with singular Greek names, and a variety of stabby weapons including coat hanger and knitting needle. Why risk getting slaughtered as soon as you get together with your friends? Purchase the Sinister Minutes Final Girl Ensemble today and let them go down instead. Sinister Minutes' guarantee of the effectiveness of the Final Girl Ensemble is applicable only to the original purchaser of said ensemble. No refunds available for any item stained with bodily fluids or otherwise damaged. Sinister Minutes features tales that include disturbing content. That's intentional because, like the podcast itself, the creators here at Sinister Minutes are really not okay. Now, having said that, realize that content featured on this podcast may include descriptions of some pretty horrific things at times. It is a dark fiction podcast, after all. So we hope that you are anticipating some degree of abuse and blood, of harm and death, of suicide, of sex, of injury, of mutilation, of pain, and certainly some profanity. Maybe a little bit of screaming, occasionally some threats, a bit of torture, a bit of victim blaming. And as always, at some point, we're sure that you're going to encounter some witches. Don't say we didn't warn you. Welcome to Sinister Minutes, Season 2, Episode 5. Today's episode is a hodgepodge of flash fiction. No, these are not tales about creepy old men in trench coats. And I mean, they could be, but at least for today, they are most certainly not. Flash fiction is all about stories that can be read in a flash. And the ones we've got today run anywhere between 1 and 10 minutes. Can we tell a whole story in such a brief period of time? You get to be the judge. I hesitate to say too much about these, given their brevity, so let's just give the trigger warnings, shall we? There's a bit of suicide, a bit of violent mayhem, a prison escape, and some dangerous culinary habits. We've also got a guest author with us today. Welcome, please, Branwen Drew, who has provided us with some delightfully dark poetry about an extraordinary creature who does a bit of disturbing tapping, although not upon her chamber door. There are links to Branwen's other work in the show notes. Now, of course, no show would be complete without the musical genius of Mr. Tim Parker. In addition to the brilliant moods lent throughout the show, he's also giving us a peek at his culinary talents by working hard in the kitchen to whip up an Eldritch porridge that we're certain you're going to enjoy. Dearest listeners, we are forever grateful to you for your support, for letting us entertain you. If you're just joining us for the first time today, we encourage you to go back in time and give a listen to the multitude of shows put out over the last year. Longtime listeners, you know you want to go back and give some of those older shows another listen, don't you? As always, if you like what you're hearing here on Sinister Minutes, a nice rating at Spotify or Apple Podcasts or wherever would be greatly appreciated. And don't keep us all to yourselves. By all means, tell your friends. There's plenty of us to go around. You can always find us under Sinister Minutes on Blue Sky or YouTube or Facebook, or you can drop us an email via sinisterminutes@gmail.com. In fact, if you've got a story of your own, something with a dark or sinister bent, something you'd like to hear on a future Sinister Minutes episode, well, go ahead and attach it to an email. Send it to sinisterminutes@gmail.com, and we'll give it a read-through while we're running the Midnight Wood Chipper. Best Served Cold, written and narrated by Kurt Homan. Maybe I should feel guilty. I don't. She really did have it coming, but you know that. Try the shrimp. That's a wasabi crust. The dipping sauce is orange ginger. Where to begin? You know, things used to be really good between us. Effie and I were together 6 years, and up until the last couple months, everything seemed great. Sure, we had our ups and downs like everybody, but we always worked them out. Until he came along. You okay with me not using his name? Yeah, I figured you would be. It's childish, I know, but I can't bring myself to say it. It grates on me that much. Anyway, Effie comes home one day and announces that her boss is dead and gone. Terrible thing. I'd always thought Grant was a good guy. He let her do her job, kept the bean counters off her back. I guess he died in his sleep. Massive coronary. She was sure she'd have to look for another job. Then he shows up. New boss, new routines. At first, I didn't think anything of it. When Effie started putting in longer hours, I figured it was all part of the normal process. She had job security. Everything was okay. Hey, taste this. Tomato bisque with roasted garlic and pesto. Amazes me how many people never move beyond the stuff in the can. Anyway, most people in my position, they get some hint of what's going on, but me, totally in the dark till about 2 weeks ago. I hadn't seen Effie for more than a few minutes in passing for 3-4 days, and I thought I'd surprise her at work. You know, take her out for lunch, give her a short break. You can probably guess what happened. Right there, in the office. Her bent over the desk, papers scattered all over the floor, him grunting and wheezing like he's about to blow a gasket. Sorry, not a good image while we're trying to eat. I could have run in there, grabbed the bastard, kicked his ass, and had it out with Effie, but something held me back. And you know, I'm glad it did. I just slipped back out the door, and they never even noticed me. This next dish is a smoked duck breast. I finished it with wild currant chutney. Nice, huh? Anyway, once I knew, I had to figure out what to do. Effie actually gave me the idea. She came home that night early enough that we had a chance to talk for once. She told me a competitor had offered her a better position. Both of them. They were going to jump ship together, almost twice the salary. A real sweet deal, and she wanted to celebrate. She said the two of them were headed to Manhattan in a week to fill out some paperwork, do the standard HR routine, and meet with the board. She didn't mention that they'd be celebrating with a lot more than a high five, but I already knew that. I went all out to wine and dine her that weekend, a full 7-course Italian feast. Antipasto, almond-crusted calamari, stuffed meatballs in vodka cream sauce. I just kept it coming. After dessert, I even cracked open the bottle of absinthe we'd been saving for a special occasion. Halfway through the bottle, she passed out cold. Oh, but I wasn't done. I grabbed her fresh out of the shower the next morning and gave her the massage of a lifetime. I got all the kinks out of those tense muscles in her neck and shoulders and worked that oil into every inch of her skin, leaving her smooth and supple. We were both smiling when she kissed me goodbye. She was headed to the office for some final prep before jumping on a plane that night. The next day, she assured me, was a done deal. We'd be on Easy Street. I changed the locks before she'd been gone 5 minutes. See how flaky that sea bass is? People always overcook fish. The sweet chili glaze is what really makes it. The process server I'd hired was waiting for her at the airport when she got back. I'm guessing she was pretty surprised, given how much attention I'd focused on her before she left. Just the first surprise of many. So very unexpected when a corporate climber like my Effie fails a drug test so miserably, but the wormwood in absinthe does a fine job of covering the bitterness of heroin. And she was too drunk to notice what I was, and more importantly, what I was not, sharing with her. After she passed out that night, I visited her office to set up the camera and take care of a few loose ends. Of course, I tipped off the old firm. See, the two of them had been planning to string things along until the very end, quietly cleaning out client accounts and sensitive data, right up until they both gave notice. Now they're locked out and fired. More wine? See, I had to do something different with him. Luckily, Effie wanted me to plan a party for after the trip, so she'd already told me all about his little allergy. On Sunday, it was so gratifying to watch the video of him lapping up every inch of her skin. All that cold-pressed peanut oil I'd massaged into every pore. I heard he was too sick to even get on the plane, right? Certainly didn't stop Effie from going. And then, of course, I called you. I thought you'd also want a copy of that video, although I'll admit I was a bit nervous, not knowing how much I might upset you. Funny, since the only thing that upset you was that I didn't let you in on this until the end. So, here's to unfaithful spouses and the simple joy of milking them dry. Creme brulee? Who's the Mouse in the Top Hat and Tails? Written by Branwen Drew. Narrated by Kurt Homan. I saw a mouse this morning. He had on top hat and tails and black tie. He was sauntering down the sidewalk, walking upright with a silver-topped cane. Tap, tap, tap on the concrete walk. He had an attitude of confidence and swagger. He was in a rush, but not in a hurry. Where is he going? No one else is taking notice of him. How curious, he should be the object of great interest. I speak to no one, unsure of what I am seeing. He is unaware of me as I follow him, quietly, like a cat. He turns a corner at a large old brownstone, a big stoop leading into it. He goes alongside the stoop. I follow, walking softly. There is a small wooden door in the corner. The dapper mouse knocks on it with the head of his cane. It opens, and he enters. I look around. Did anyone else see this? I look down. The door is gone. What just happened? Where did the door lead? Why is it gone? I ask others. No one believes me. I head for the safety of my home. Sitting in my chair, collecting my thoughts. Was I hallucinating? A light tap on the window. Looking up, there he is, peering in, grinning at me, waving. What does he want with me?
Tempus Fugit, written and narrated by Kurt Hellman. "Gotta crawl 'fore you can walk," said Jack, grinning. "And you gotta run 'fore you can fly. It's time to fly." I wondered if he even knew what he was saying anymore. 83 years old, in for life, and spouting crap. Flying. Likely get himself killed, that kind of talk. "Gonna grow wings, old man?" I laughed in his wrinkled face. "Maybe you can just fly both of us on out of here." He laughed back. His eyes were shining even through the cataracts. "I'll show all of you." I walked away, shaking my head. Crazy bastard. Next morning, pen was buzzing. He'd done it. Old Jack gone and flew away, right over the walls. The rest? The stuff he didn't need no more? Well, that they hauled out in big black bags.
Eldritch Porridge, composed and performed by Tim Parker. Sinister Minutes is presented by Kurt Homan and Tim Parker. The musical score was composed and performed by Tim Parker. Our production team consists of Kurt Homan and Tim Parker. On behalf of everyone here at the Sinister Minutes podcast, namely Kurt Homan and Tim Parker, we thank you for listening, for joining us as we explore all the ways in which we are not okay. This audio program is copyright by Kurt Homan and Tim Parker under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, No Derivatives license.